Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BookShark pilot. The first thing that I want to do in this video is thank you for joining me during this fourth quarter and trying something new. We started BookShark this year at WVL with grades 3 and 4. Next year, we're going to be adding on 1 and 2. By the way, BookShark is not graded, it's leveled. So there's levels 1 through 4, starting with next year's courses. This particular video is going to be showing you how to maneuver BookShark 1. So thanks for joining me. The bulk of this video is going to be me sharing my screen so that you can see where to find things and how to do things, and trying to make getting started as in Canvas exclusively. So it might be new to you. So take some time to watch the video, and if you have any questions, please let me know. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, hopefully now you can see my dashboard in Canvas. Typically at the top are announcements. So for example, when I'm making this video right now, it is moving up to middle school week. So there's an announcement there about that. Any school-wide announcements go on your dashboard. Individual course announcements you'll find right in the courses. So I'm going to scroll down to where my courses are listed. Now you're going to notice I have a lot of courses. You're not going to have that many courses as a student. Because I'm an instructor and I have lots of different classes that I'm an instructor for, I have a lot more courses listed. So I'm going to go ahead here and choose Language Arts 1 because I'm going to be starting just with that course. What you're going to see here is the home page, and I'm going to switch over to student view. As an instructor, things look a little bit different on my end than they look on your end. But by switching to student view, now it should look exactly the same for you. So this is the home page. It just gives you what course it is. It lets you know my name, my school email address. So if you ever need that, it's listed here. My home office phone number and my school office number. Just to let you know, I'm typically in the school office on Mondays and I'm home the rest of the week. So if you need to get a hold of me, that's typically where to find me. And that's a picture of me. Now, the video that I'm making right now is going to be right here. I just have to link it after I'm done making it. So you'll see that video posted in each of the courses, and you'll just simply click on this box and you'll be able to watch the video. So this is my home page for Language Arts. The next tab is announcements. Anything really important that I need to tell you, I will put up an announcement, and I'll typically also email you with that information. But you can always check the announcements. I did post an announcement just so that you would have one to see when you went into the course. And it's just a thank you for trying something new. The modules tab is next, and that is where you find all of the lessons that you need, and they are in order for you. So it starts with week 1, day 1, week 1, day 2, week 1, day 3, week 1, day 4, and then the assignment for the first week. So if we click on week 1, day 1, that's where you're going to start on April 1st, and it'll open up to the lesson. Now I'm thinking because more than it normally will for you. So it gives you an overview here of how the Language Arts program works, some general reading instruction, what's going on with spelling. We're going to keep going down here, reading instruction. And this is why we decided to pilot the first quarter of lessons rather than the fourth quarter of lessons, because these first introductory lessons tell you why you're doing what you're doing. Anytime that you have something that you have to read, like a little book, I usually try to put those in orange for you. So those are some word lists and the I Can Read It book 1. Vocabulary development, here's what you're going to be reading and discussing with your child that day. By the way, this is the very first lesson, so it's extremely long because it gives you a lot of background information. That will not be in all of the lessons, so don't get worried. And then creative expression is what your students is going to be writing. And at the end of the first day of the week, I always have the activity page. That's also going to be sent to you in a book form. So you don't need to print it, but if you would lose it or something would happen, you want to start over, you can always print it from here. So that is how You look at your lessons and work through your lessons. They're also in a bound book that you're going to get, an instructor's guide, but we do have them online for you also. So after you finish day 1, you're going to pretend you were logging in for day 2. Then you're going to pick up with week 1, day 2. And then it'll tell you again what you're going to be working on. You'll notice that this lesson is a whole lot shorter than that first one, where they're giving you all that background information. One other thing I want to take a look at here is you do have, each week you're going to turn in your activity sheet. So you're going to have your child do it. And I expect first graders are probably writing rather than typing. So we're going to have them do it on their paper. You're going to scan it into the system and submit it. And you do that by just clicking the submit button and then choosing the file. So you click the choose file and it'll open up and let you choose where to find it from. So you'll do that. And then once you have it added, or if you have to add another file, you can. If you want to put any comments in, and then you click submit assignment, and then it comes into the Dropbox form. You're going to notice that each week you're going to turn in the language arts activity sheet so that we can see how you are progressing through what you're learning about in those activity sheets each week. It goes all the way through week 9 because that would be 1 quarter's worth of work. You've probably noticed that BookShark is a 4-day-a-week program. So typically you're going to have lessons Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or I will adjust that and I'll show you that on the calendar in a little bit. The grades tab is where you see how your child is doing. So once you scan and submit the activity sheet, it'll show up as a link here or it'll show up as a paper. It depends on how you submit it, but there'll be an icon here to let you know that it is submitted. It's waiting on me to grade. Once I've graded it, you'll probably see a check mark for complete or an X for incomplete. I think I have all the assignments since obviously first grade, we don't grade on an A, B, C, D, F scale. It's complete or incomplete. So you'll see those scores there. So that is, and I probably have to figure out how to get those out for you because this is obviously for when we're going to use it later. We only want you to worry about the first 9 weeks. So that is basically the language arts course. Now I'm going to switch to it's not going to let me switch here. So let me leave student view and then I'll switch to science and I'll show you the science course. Again, in student view. The home pages are all going to look exactly the same. Announcements are also the same. And the modules tab, again, where you're going to find the science lessons. Set up exactly the same way. Week 1, day 1, week 1, day 2, week 1, day 3. And it tells you here where, what they want you to go to the Usborne Book of Knowledge, which you should receive in your materials that come to you directly from BookShark. And they want you to read pages 52 and 53. And then your activity sheet questions 1 and 2. And I do always have a link on day 1 to the activity sheet for the week. They're also in the bound book that you're going to receive. Now, just like I did with language arts, you're going to turn in your activity sheet each week. So you can work on it throughout the week, or you can work on it on Friday and then submit it. It's completely up to you if you want to use it like a review of what you've learned throughout the week, or if you want to fill it in throughout the week as you go. It makes no difference to me. So that is how the science is set up. Grades tab is exactly the same as I showed you before. All of the activity sheets are listed here in order, in the order that they are due. Once they're submitted, there'll be an icon there. And once I've graded it, it should show up as a check mark or a red X. Now you might see that these have different amounts of points, and that's because each activity sheet has a different amount of questions on it. So that's the only reason why those are different. Again, you can disregard anything after week 9 because you are only going to be working on the first 9 weeks of the course. All right, let's look then finally at social studies. In social studies, again, exactly the same. I'm going to go right to the modules tab this time, where you're going to notice it's set up exactly the same again. And that's for ease for all of you. Actually, let's go back here. So I go to student view. I forgot to click that. Go to the modules tab. Again, it's just set up exactly the same. So it should be very easy to maneuver so that you always know where you should be. Now, for the social studies, what I did was each week I have the children submit some main ideas. So at the end of the week, I say, what are 3 to 5 main ideas that you learned about in social studies this week? And this particular assignment in social studies, these are what's called discussion boards, and they need to answer them here in the system. So for these, you're going to be typing right in the system. Now, you might think, oh, my son or daughter can't do that. It's okay. You can help them with that. The reason why we want them to start typing a little bit is because when they get to 3rd grade and they start to go into standardized testing, the standardized testing is all done by computer at that level. So we want them to be familiar with the keyboard by 3rd grade. So we figured if we at least gave them something here, they would at least have a little bit each week. So they have 1 question each week. So when they're ready to answer, you click that reply button, and then they type their answer here and they post their reply. Once they've posted, then they're able to see the answers of the other children in the class. They can't see those answers until they put their own post in. So that is basically how each of the courses works. I also want to show you the calendar. Because that is, if you get hung up and you're not sure what day you're supposed to be on, they are all listed here on the calendar. So we just got to get to April because we're starting April 1st. So on the calendar, it's always going to tell you what day you're on. So week 1, day 1, week 1, day 2, week 1, day 3. You'll notice we have a short week here. So I doubled up days 2 and 3. If that doesn't work for you, feel free to adjust it. It's completely what works for you and your family. But it is only a 4-day a week. So it works out, pretty nice here where we have a 4-day a week. And we also have another one of those in May. But you're going to be doing this pilot just through the end of May. And then what I did is, because we do have a couple of days in June, I just set those aside as catch-up days. So if you do fall a little bit behind during the pilot, you do have a couple of days at the end to get yourself caught up. So let me see. I think I've gone through everything that I wanted to make sure that I showed you. We did the dashboard. We did each of the courses, and I showed you the calendar. So I think we are kind of where I wanted you to be. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And once again, thank you for joining me for this pilot. If you have any questions throughout the quarter, please let me know. Feel free to email me or call me or anything. It doesn't make any difference to me. Just so you know, I am also the curriculum and assessment coordinator at WVL, and we are hugely into assessment season in the spring. That's when our 3rd through 8th graders and our 10th graders take the forward exam. And it's also when our 9th and 10th graders take the ACT Aspire exam, which leads me to be out of my office a lot during the spring. So if you need something, get a hold of me. And if I'm not around right at that moment, I will be sure to get back to you as quickly as I can. So again, thank you for joining me. Let me know if you need help, but enjoy doing something new.